Hello and welcome. Let's create one new scene, 2D scene. And now we will experiment a little bit with props for a 2D game. This can be useful for anyone who create 2D game. And if you are participant in Godot Game Jam, M.D.C. Godot Game Jam, you can use knowledge from this. Let's begin. First, we will create some simple element. This can be static body with collision shape and image sprite. Collision shape in this situation will be rectangular, and sprite for this image can be something like this. When you create any game prop element for 2D game, always start working in 0, position, and when everything is set, just use this button and then you can move all elements together without changing of interpositions. Now let's set collision shape. Collision shape I usually put after sprite image, only because like this I can see what's going on. If you want to change some element size, you can work with scale. Under Node 2D transform, sprite, for example, have scale, and we can change it to be a little lower than it is. Now when this simple prop is ready, we only need to use this to move it together. With move mode, we can put it somewhere here. Of course, you can change the name of any game prop. Another prop will be a rigid body. And this rigid body will also have collision shape and some sprite. Collision shape will have a rectangular shape, and sprite for it, you can use it as you like. Search for spire. We don't have spire, we have sprite. This light blue nodes are always 2D nodes. Every 2D node is like this, and we will create it also. Image for this can be our box image or something other, but I really don't know what. We can experiment with any kind of elements. I don't have so much image here. I can use, for example, okay, whatever. And we know how to do this. This collision shape for our object. Okay, when you want perfection, you can zoom it with middle mouse button and set whatever you want. Zoom up or down, what you need. And together this rigid body is set. We can also use this element, and now we have a rigid body in this position. Now let's save and test this scene. We have two elements with collision shape. We have file name because we defined the name of the root node. Otherwise, all of your root nodes will have the same name. Let's see. Good. Because we use a rigid body have some settings, some interesting settings. Let's look at the settings. So our rigid body have mode. This mode change the variation of rigid body, but for our first working with the rigid body, we will only use default rigid body mode, and with this element we can work on his reaction to space. Because this is explained in some of my previous video, I will go toward the thing I want to show you. So our rigid body will only have some change in gravity. For example, let's say the gravity is higher, lower, and let's see what's going on. So gravity is minus and our rigid body goes up. Minus gravity or plus gravity. This is minus gravity, as you see again. You can experiment like this to move bodies, rigid bodies in different side, but if we set gravity here, gravity will influence our rigid body. Now we will change some data in our static body. Static body have two parameters with constant linear velocity. We can experiment with these parameters. For this experiment, we can add one more static body. So we have this static body, and we will duplicate to create another one. This static body, if we work on change, because this is duplication, we can change some parameter, or we can use rotation here, and with rotation we can rotate element. Also we can use snap and rotation for some quality rotation about angle, and we can put this, for example, here, or we can put it, for example, here. Doesn't matter. What is important, we will use this constant linear velocity on an x scale, and we will give some little amount of linear velocity to see what's going on when you use it. So you have linear velocity, and you see this rigid body moves. You can design some very simple and easy prop, like some walking elevator for walking, or some track to move some elements. As you see, this element moves. If we don't have here this, your box will go somewhere down. You can create many things with this. If you use constant linear velocity on epsilon scale, let me show you, you will have effects, some other type of effects, but vertical. For now this is not visible. Let's put some change here to see. As you see, I have a positive value, I need negative value. I need negative value to change where it's moved. You don't see maybe now, I will show you again, but let me rephrase this for you to see better what's going on. As you see. But because this is constant linear velocity, you get this effect again and again. If you want to get this effect a few times, you will need to code. Or if you put some little amount, this will not be so visible, and you will have something like bumping, little bumping over the line. See here, this is almost not visible. If you put it a little higher, as I put previously, you will have this effect here, something like bumping. So element is moving but little bit bumpy. Okay, this is very simple effect, and you can easily create it. This is constant angular velocity. If you want to work with this, you will have some rotation effects. I don't suggest you, but test it, and if you find some usability for this, you can use it. Okay, other thing I want to show you is linear and angular velocity of rigid body. Rigid body have possibility for linear and angular velocity also, and have option for applied force. You need to experiment with this to see what's going on. I will just put some simple data here. Body total applied torque, or whatever it's pronounced. We need a little bit higher applied force data to see what's going on. Okay, this is it. We can't use this for now, but maybe something other. Let's see. You can experiment with this. This is applied force on object, so you can apply it on object. Okay. There is a lot of possibility to use this. Just you need to have some inspiration. This is all about simple use of props. Now let's try to create something different. When we want a prop to be created as instance on a screen, we have this option, but this have his let me rephrase it. This have his not applied side, so better is to use GD Script when you want to create it. And because all of this, I usually suggest my students to start with GD Script and then work with this developed environment. Or you can use standard way. But if you learn something complex in the beginning, everything after that looks simple to you. And without other talking, I will explain you this creation process. We will add one no comment GD script code, and in one function we will create one prop. This prop will be a rigid body. If you read my book GD Script, you will know what I am doing now, but if you are a beginner, this can be useful to you. We need one object, this will be rigid body new, one collision shape, this will be collision shape 2D, one shape defined, This will be shape 2D dot new and after that we can set some things, for example shape shape 2D. Let's do it like this. Collision shape, shape. If you have GD Script book, just use it, look it. Remember yourself and you can know what to do. Rectangle shape. Okay, now we are defined shape. Now we will say that collision shape, this property, is shape. This is defined shape here, variable shape rectangular. I can write it like this for you to better understand. Now we defined shape. Okay, rigid body. First collision shape will collision shape need to have shape. It's okay. Rigid body need to have one child added. Better to use add child collision. Now we are coding this rigid body, collision shape, and after that we will add sprite. So we want to code all of this to create some script for instantiating body element in a scene. Rigid body will have one child. This will be this collision shape. Before that we can do something. Also we need image, but let's first try to finish this and see what's going on. Rigid body add child. Now we will use dot for root node, add child rigid. Good. Create prop. We will call this function. Create prop. Just to show you, this is not complete, but just to show you visible collision shapes. What's going on? So this script will try to create some rigid body, and I think we will see nothing, but let's start it. Look in this corner, we have something which moved there because collision shape have some default values and we see something. Now we can move this rigid body in a space. Before adding a child, we will say rigid. Set position is usually used for setting a position in 2D space, and for this we will use some vector2 variable which can be called position and will be used from here and defined here. This will be position in space, for example x, and epsilon will be lower. And now, because we can see collision shape, we have one collision shape going down. This collision shape is created by code. We create this collision shape by code. And what can we do? We can create another one with a simple call of a function. So how to instantiate? You see one and another after that. If we use for loop and rang function from, let me say, 0 to 12, we have this for loop will repeat itself 12 times. We can create in this position vector 2 120 plus this variable. Okay, let's see what we'll get. So 12 repetition of a code, and we have a lots of rigid bodies, but let me put this rigid bodies somewhere. We can use something like this to change X position. We will get a lot of rigid bodies, and now we can move them here, and our collision shapes are together. We'll lose some of them, and we don't want to lose some of them. Am I changing epsilon or x? What I change? I change epsilon. No, epsilon is okay. We need to change this variable. Okay, so we lose only 2. If we want to get everybody on a board, we will try something like 172. Okay. He's going out! But I don't want to lose time for this joking, or I want to lose time for joking. Let me lose time for joking. So we have a lot of instantiation, see, here, and all of these boxes. All of it. Can't believe. Are moving in the same direction. 1 is going down, 2 is going down. But other are not going down. Good. You see this? You like it? I like it. It's good. Okay. I hope this will give you some ideas. I can further work with this idea, but if I don't, what can you do? You can create one sprite, simple variable sprite equal sprite.new, and then define the sprite position in a space, and you can add it. I think this is explained also in a free version of my book. Try to find this link somewhere. And if you don't have GD Script book, try to earn few dollars. Book is, I don't know, $2, $3, $4, $5, I don't know, for depending on market, and buy it. This will be useful for you. Okay, thank you for watching and see you in some other lesson. Also, I invite you to go and join M.D.C.Game Jam. You will learn a lot, you will play a lot. Also, you will meet new friends, play games, comment on games, and after that you can even be awarded if you submit any project on Game Jam, and if you are a developer and if you have good game. I have a lot of awards for best game project. Thank you again and see you.